Hello everybody. Patrick Sieber of Sieber Consulting here with you today to share another useful tip. Today we're going to talk briefly about creating a system restore point, why you should use it, and how you can check to see if it's on and functioning for you. After that, we'll check your system restore points and see if you have any restore points currently created. To finish off, we will launch a system restore point creation task and see how that looks as well. Are you ready to get started? All right. So why do we have the system protection restore points anyway? And how are these useful? Well, they can absolutely be a life-saving business saver when needed. They typically use very little space. Typically it's very fast, particularly after you get the initial seed done. In addition to this, it doesn't harm photos, music, documents, or other non-operating system files. Your data should be safe during this process. It typically deals only with operating system or application files. Now, what this won't save you from is a total hard drive failure where you can just no longer access a hard drive. Or if you've never used the system protection restore points, you haven't got them turned on, well, you simply can't use them. They aren't available to you. So if you have a virus attack or a bad patching job during Microsoft updates, or maybe an antivirus product gets a bad signature file and you need to roll the system back to before that particular event took place, you won't be able to do it without already having restore points. So at that point, you'd have to be reinstalling your system and the associated applications. Not pretty, as you can imagine. As always, you should perform a complete backup before doing your monthly maintenance, patching, software installations, or software upgrades. It's better to be safe than sorry, don't you know? Ready to move along? Okay, let's get going. Now to find it, the easy way is to press your start button and then start typing in create restore point. And notice it goes right to it at the top. There we go. Let me pull this down where you can see it. This is Systems Properties screen. It's part of the computer management system, and the system protection deals with the system restoration portion right here, as well as the protection settings right here. Notice how it lists your hard drives and whether or not protection is on or not. Notice these two drives are off. That's because they're data disks or utility disks that I use that are not holding an operating system to speak of. They're just data disks. Now this one here, local disk C, notice it's labeled as a system and it's on. This means I have been using it. Let's see how it's configured. To see how this drive is configured, click on it and then click the configure button. This brings up the system protection for local disk C dialog box, and right here at the very top it shows that we're using the highest setting we can. We'll be able to restore system settings and previous versions of files. That's really kind of what you want. There's no reason to scrimp on this. You've more than likely got plenty of hard drive space. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just make sure it's turned on. Right now we're using right about 8 gigs of system restore points, and it'll go as high as about 20 gigs on this particular system. Now this delete button here, you need to approach that with caution. When you click this button, you're going to delete all the previous restore points, and it includes system settings and previous versions of files. You might want to think before you do that, maybe do a backup beforehand. Let's say OK and go to the next piece. System restore. Let's say you actually have to do a system rollback or system restore. Simply click this button here and it's going to start a wizard. Here we are. That'll walk you through restoring system files and settings. At this point you're going to want to say next. And you can see we've got a few recovery points done. And I happen to know that there was software installed here because it's called installed Mozyhome. And you can also say please show me more restore points, and you notice that added a few restore points to it. We're going to go ahead and select this and then scan for affected programs. And in this particular case we've actually done some software installations. You can see in the background while the scanning's continuing that Google Chrome, Market Samurai, Mozy Home, Skype, toolbars and Skype have all been installed. And by restoring this particular restore point right here on the 1st of December, it's going to affect these possibly. And these it says for sure. You can tell because it says programs and drivers that will be deleted, and then it lists them. So you need to pay attention to that just before you do it, but it's a good way to validate that the application you installed and is now giving you problems and you want to get rid of it, using this will absolutely take care of that for you and remove all trace of it. So that's how that would work. We say next here, and we're going to step further down this wizard. And here we are getting ready to confirm the restore point. Your computer will be restored to the state it was in before the event in the description field below. So description is installed Mozy Home, and the drives it's going to work with is local disk C. So at this point, if I were to say finish, it would roll it back and a lot of that software would disappear on me. So that's not going to happen right now. So I'm going to hit the cancel button. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and create a system restore point. I did this in test and it went pretty fast, so I'm just going to do a quick retest. Say create. Now look at how long it takes. This really isn't much at all. Well, of course it wasn't the last time, but then again I did install, Skype, but that was still pretty quick, you've got to admit. That was like less than 20 seconds. So now the restore point is created successfully. If we go into System Restore, and again say next, there it is. Date, time, description, manual. Now, we'll be making these automatically every 7 days. As a matter of fact, it says so right here in Windows Help and Support. It actually says that these are created once every 7 days if no other restore points were created in the previous 7 days. Okay, so that's how you do it. That's how you go about checking to see that it's on. You want to see that it is on a drive C and then configure it. And if you don't have it on, you'll see this window, only this radio button will be clicked. So just make sure you hit the top level, restore system settings in previous versions of files, and you should be good to go. I always apply and then say OK on those dialog boxes. But that's all I've got for now. Hope that helps you out. Till we talk again, be safe out there.